weekly show, which is on Tuesday, and we have a very vibrant and important guest today in our studio. I would like to introduce you our guest. Before that, I wanted to give you a brief outline. That our show is Your Voice, wherein we raise the particular issues of the community. We tried our best to become the voice of the community, the voice of the many. And this is why this is a show wherein you can participate and you can listen the exactly the issues which the society, community, member of the community are facing, irrespective of your nationality, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your race and color. This is the community show, and we are trying our best to become the exactly and representing your issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our very valuable guest today in our show. She is live from her home. She's not present in the studio, unfortunately, because of the COVID-19 restrictions. Sanchia Alasia, I welcome you, Sanchia.
Thank you, Mr. Sandhu, for bringing me on this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I know this was a very short notice and you made it. I really appreciate. I'd like to introduce Sanchia. Sanchia is a very vibrant member of the council, Barking and Dagenham. She's a councillor and she was the mayor. She is the ex-mayor of Barking and Dagenham 1 year before the COVID. She was one of the very vibrant, active mayor of Barking and Dagenham. I do remember that she supported a lot of the community causes, especially against the hate crime, in support of the human rights, in support of the voice of the people who thinks that they're less heard and they're less represented in the on the different public forums. So Sanchia also representing in many committees, and she also traveled a lot to European unions, wherein she representing the Barking and Dagenham Council as well as the Labour Party as well. So Sanchia, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm at home, so I'm safe and sound. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that. Sanchia, this month is celebrating in whole world as the history
Mm,
of
mm,
Black Month history. So I particularly requested you to contribute in our show and share your experiences,
mm,
especially how the contribution of Black people in United
mm,
Kingdom
mm,
on different forums in the Parliament, in House of Lords, and in especially the local level, local governments in the council.
mm.
So because you are the councillor, you have a better experience. I want to, and our member of the community, our viewers and listeners, they want to hear you.
Yes, no, thank you, Mr. Sandhu. Yes, October is Black History Month here in the United Kingdom, and it has been that way for a number of years now. And as you said, this is being celebrated in a variety of ways. At Barking and Dagenham Council in East London, we have a program which has already started of
Right.
online events. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it does have to be online this year because of the COVID
Oh
restrictions.
yeah.
We have a program of online events. If you go to the Barking and Dagenham Council website and click Black History Month, you will see the program and you will be able to book onto the event. Some of them have already happened, but there's more to come. So if you haven't joined any, you haven't missed out. Um, Also, the UK Parliament, members of Parliament and members of the House of Lords have been writing blogs. I actually had a look at this yesterday, some very interesting blogs about their own personal experiences and also things that have happened. So again, if you go into the UK Parliament website, you will find more information there. And aside from that, there's just so many activities happening Lots of community and voluntary organisations, universities, schools, corporate organisations, are doing a lot of events, and most of them are online. So it's very easy for any one of us to sort of join in and get involved this year.
That's brilliant to know that. Yeah, thank you for sharing such information. Of course, I believe that there are a lot of people who wanted to know about that. So, Sanchia, can you share your experience when you joined uh, uh, the Barking and Dagenham Council as a
Mm,
councillor? Do
mm,
you think that the community, of course, ethnic and minority community, the members
mm,
who belongs to the BAM group, they face some difficulties, they
mm,
face some barriers in terms of the culture, language, many other things. So, do you think you have gone through any difficulties?
mm. Certainly. I mean, I moved into Dagenham in 2003, so you're talking about 17 years ago now. And I moved from Newham, which you will know, which is where your radio station is. And
That's
my
correct.
aunt used to live in Forest Gate, so I know Forest Gate quite well. So I moved from Newham into Dagenham, as I say, 17 years ago. And it
Yeah.
was a very different place then to what it is now. It's much more diverse now, which is really good to see. When I moved in, there weren't that many people from different backgrounds. There were people there, but not as many as what we have now. And we had the British National Party were quite buoyant throughout the borough. We had 12 British National Party councillors, BNP councillors, elected as actually elected officials on the council. And
Uh,
in the ward where I'm a councillor now, Alibon, which I know you know well,
yes.
there were actually two British National Party councillors and one Labour councillor. So it
Okay.
wasn't, as good as it is now today.
Right. Yes. I know that there are difficulties before, but at the moment, what the UK is,
Mm,
UK becomes a more stronger, diverse community, multicultural community. The UK, especially the London, that represents all the faiths, all the races, and all the colors, and it is the mixture of.
mm,
All the world's population, I can say.
mm,
The people
mm,
come from all the zones and all the continents of the world, and they become the strong part of UK. But I particularly appreciate the role of Black people, which they played in the history of UK and
mm,
whatever UK is at the moment. Of course, there is not a single doubt that they have played a great contributions towards the progress, development, and to making the UK a diverse country. What's your opinion on that?
Absolutely. I mean, Black Britons have made enormous contributions to the fabric of this society. I think of people like my grandfather who came during the Windrush era. They were called, they were asked to come from many Caribbean countries. They were asked to come here to work to rebuild this country after the Second World War because there was a lot of damage and there was a lot of rebuilding that needed to be done. And so many of them came and worked in construction, in nursing, in transport, and many other sectors, and helped to really rebuild this country to where it is today. And so Black Britons have made enormous contributions. And I think what Black History Month does is gives us the opportunity to highlight
That
those contributions and spread the awareness of what Black Britons have done right across this country. So Black History Month is still really very relevant and very important for us today.
that is perfectly fine. Yeah, exactly. This is the main reason to celebrating the Black Month, History Month, is to highlight the contributions of Black people who has significantly made brilliant changes in the society and this community where we are living now. So, Sanchia, as a mayor, when you was as a mayor of Barking and Dagenham, you was the proud of the borough, and I know that how greatly you receive a love from all the people, not only the people of Black, but the
Mm,
people from all the communities,
mm,
white, Asians, black, and all other faiths, they really happy to saw you as a mayor when you was the first woman of the borough. Can you share that experience?
No, absolutely. I mean, it was a real privilege for me to be the mayor of Barking and Dagenham from May 2018 to May 2019. I was the first Caribbean woman to become the mayor in Barking and Dagenham. And of course, as a Black woman, it's a proud moment for my community. But as a mayor, I represent all communities, all faiths. Even if you don't have a faith, it doesn't matter. I'm there to represent you. And so, of course, I will speak about my culture and my heritage, but I will support anybody. And I went to many cultural events from many different communities and learned so much about them, which is really good because I'm fascinated by culture. And so I love learning about people's cultures and people's history and celebrating their success. So, yes, I was able to do many events like that during my mayoral year.
Yeah, that is great. And Cynthia, can you also share your experiences when you traveled abroad, especially with the European Union, and you participated in some committees? So,
Absolutely,
yeah,
yes. So I was appointed to the European Union Committee of the Regions in 2015, and I served until December last year when the term finished. And I was appointed by the then Prime Minister at the time, David Cameron, to be a part of that committee with 48
brilliant.
other UK representatives from across the country. And in 2017, I was elected the deputy leader, which was another great achievement. And so, yes, we had our headquarters in Brussels. So I was generally in Brussels approximately once a week. But from time to time, we would have meetings outside of Brussels just to get to know the other regions of the European Union. And so people could show us their culture and their heritage. And I really, really enjoyed that. And just sharing ideas about local government and how I would share about ideas about how local government works in Barking and Dagenham, and I would also learn about how local government works in other areas. So it was so enriching just to learn about projects and things that people were doing that I could take back and share.
Brilliant. That is very inspirational. Do you think that what you have done and what you have achieved, that gives a lot of inspirations to the future generations or upcoming leaders, and especially the youth of the Black community? How you inspire them?
Absolutely. I mean, I have my role models. I mean, Nelson Mandela is a huge role model for me.
Great.
And I hope that in
He
some
is
small
role
way,
model for whole world.
yeah,
Not
absolutely. I mean, the fact that he was in prison for 27 years and was able to come out and become the Prime Minister of South Africa is just an amazing achievement.
amazing. That
And I hope that in some small way, I have been able to inspire others and continue to inspire others to either get involved in politics or just get involved in public life, just get involved in your local community in some small way, because that's what it's all about. We are part of a community. Let's support it. Let's make our communities vibrant, and let's work together for the betterment of all of us living in our areas.
Absolutely. I am witness of many people who are directly inspired by your passion, by your work. And I am quite sure that there are a lot of other great Black leaders who representing the community, and they're performing their great jobs on the floor of the parliament. They are the greater in positions to inspire the others, because I know that there are some also controversies as well in so many ways that, of course, London uh, was and is going through. I don't know about during the COVID, the crime ratio level, what it is. Of course, it must be decreased. But before that, there was so many crimes happened, and a lot of people just blamed certain group of the communities. So that is not the case. I believe that more great names from the Black community is coming up and making the great difference, and the concept which is negative in people's mind, that definitely not the same which was before. And the black people are the significantly playing a great role. They are the great example for all of us. They are the role model for all of us who are performing the great jobs like yourself.
No, thank you. I mean, there's so many amazing, great black Britons, those who have, done their work and now passed on, but there's still many living pioneers who are doing great work now, and we need to celebrate them. We need to get their achievements out there and inspire the next generation to go on and do even greater things than what we have achieved.
Yeah, Santia, I also like to take this opportunity, your presence. Of course, this is the moment we celebrate the Black History Month. But beside that, there's another issue before this month was highlighted globally, especially from America, and it started from America, but the other countries become the part of that campaign. That is the Black Lives Matter. So, what is your comment on that?
No, I mean, obviously, the Black Lives Matter movement has been going on for a number of years, but it was heightened again this year by the awful murder of George Floyd in America a number of months ago. And that sparked protests right across the world. So, not just in America, not just here, but everywhere. And I
That's
think, the main thrust of it is basically our lives matter too. So, we see the police, not just in America, but America was the catalyst, taking away our lives with impunity. And what the Black Lives Matter movement is saying is that that is not acceptable. And we are not going to stand for that anymore. Our lives matter too. And, people in power, just because you're in a uniform, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be held accountable
yeah.
for your actions. So that's really sort of the catalyst of that movement.
Yes, and that movement actually give the great strength to the people's voice, the people's rights, the basic rights, the fundamental rights, and that movement give the great message across the world that yes, you cannot discriminate anyone on the basis of their community, on the basis of their color, their culture, their religion, or their faith, whatever. So
Mm.
that movement sparked a great fuel across the world, and we know getting the great fruit of that. And I think that celebrating the Black History Month is also the continuation in support of Black Lives Matter. Do you agree with that?
No, absolutely. I mean, Black Lives Matter can be discussed at any point in time, and certainly this year's Black History Month will be discussing Black Lives Matter in a much more profound way. So, absolutely, and even beyond, and it should go beyond October as well.
Yes. And do you think, I know that you have a short time and you are engaged in another activity. Just before we finish, I want you to give a message to the listeners and the viewers. I want two messages from you. Number one is how the people, all the youths, regardless they're black or not black, what message you want to give them in terms of getting involved in the community work uh,
Mm.
as an inspiration. And the second message I want you to give is in terms of the Black Lives Matter and the everyone's rights matter, the fundamental rights matter. Yeah.
Mm. No, absolutely. I would encourage the youth to get involved. In Barking and Dagenham, we have a massive youth zone. In Dagenham, in Parslow's Park, we would encourage you to get involved with the many activities that they put on there and get involved. We've got so many activities. I know we have to do them a little bit differently because of COVID, but activities are still happening. So do get involved. And just in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement, as I said, our life, all of our lives matter. I know you're very much into human rights, and so we have our right to life. The right to George Floyd's life was cruelly taken away from him, and we have to fight to ensure that no one else suffers at the hands of having their life so meaninglessly taken away from them. So we continue the fight, we continue the struggle, but I know at the end that we will be victorious.
Yeah, that is. We all hope that. And someone we were discussing before in another show about the George Floyd, the brutally treatment by the American police, and how they killed him, how they put the knee on his neck for a certain time. That was a very horrific moment to even discuss about that. That is, we are. I am actually unable to explain the whole scenario. It is so painful for me. But somebody said that, oh, this was happened in America, not in Britain. But I told them, I there was a video viral about a child from Drumford. He was a teenager, and one of the police official who was not in uniform but having some equipment which can prove that he belongs to police officer, belong to police department, and he was beating up with the teenager with his stick very brutally. So these things also happening in UK. We need to speak about and raise our voice about these brutality. What is happening here? And also, I was someone shared a video about in Goodmay's Tesco parking, where the a few child was standing and only black child was picked up and starting answering a questions and interrogation, when the white child was making a video, why you are asking him, why not you ask me any questions. So these things are happening here as well. We need to highlight that. What do you think?
No, absolutely. We need to fight for our rights, and as you, with the examples that you've highlighted, the rights are still. We need to still fight. There's still work to be done, and so absolutely, the battle continues. There have been incidences here in the UK. And so we still need to press ahead and make sure that human rights for all becomes a reality.
That is perfect. Thank you so much, Sanchia
Thank
Latia.
you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time, and we want you to come to our studio as well one day after.
Yes, when the restrictions obviously lift a bit, and it's more. Obviously, London has moved into tier 2. Obviously, we will be able to meet in person safely and securely, and I look forward to that time.
Yeah, we would love to welcome you here in our studio. Thank you so much.
That would be great. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this was the Sanchia Alasia. She is the ex-mayor of Barking and Dagenham, very vibrant member. And you were listening the views of the leader of the community, that how the things happen here, as well as how the black community, they played their significant role in the history, in the whatever world we have seen today, the diverse world, the progressed world, the worlds who are raising the voice for human rights, the worlds who is raising the voice for fairness and equality. Of course, the black people's role is one of the great point. We cannot ignore their roles. And also the Nelson Mandela she referred, who is the role model for all of us, that how to stand for rightfulness and how to stand for equality and justice. Thank you very much. We are heading towards a short break, and after the break we will discuss different more topics here. Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The new NHS COVID-19 app shows me my risk of coronavirus and helps me protect my mum.
It lets me know fast if I've been in contact with other app users who have coronavirus, so I can quickly warn Dan.
It shows me the risk level in my area immediately, so I can tell Sue.
It helps me protect all my loved ones, like Kim and Chris.
The more of us who get the app,
the better we can control coronavirus.
Protect your loved ones.
Get the NHS COVID-19 app.
Download now at Google Play or the App Store.
Did you know that girls like Noura walk an average of 3 miles every day in search of clean water to support their families? Minhaj Welfare Foundation believes you can end the water crisis by building small and large-scale water projects. Your charity is helping improve the lives of communities living in the poorest regions of the world. However, more needs to be done. Support Water for All. Donate today.
Call us now, 0300 30 30 777, or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you.
Hands.
Face.
Space. As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_London@minhajuk.org.
Turkish Kitchen. The best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, ID11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Very welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening and watching Muazzam Ali Sandhu with your voice. We were talking about, this is the month of October. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about the Black Month history. The people of the Black community, they're from Nigeria, they're from Africa, they're from Caribbean, they're from South America. They are really a great part of our community and society. So we're really recognized, we're really appreciated, and we accepted their great contributions towards the development of the United Kingdom, the development of this world. Of course, they are hardworking people. They are strong. They really participated into the community's activity very strongly. We recommend that the next generation of the society and community, they must get the inspirations from their role and the inspirations from the black, great successful leaders of the world. And on top of that, the worldwide, there was a campaign which we have discussed in the first segment of our show, that how the campaign started for the Black Lives Matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you one thing. The Black Lives Matter give a great inspirations to all other communities to raise a voice for their rights, to raise a voice for their fundamental and basic rights. So Black Lives Matter is equally important, as well as the White Lives Matter, the equally important, as well as the Brown Lives Matter. So all the colors, all the races, all the faiths, the people who are living without faith, their lives matter as well. So we need to understand that we cannot discriminate anyone on the basis of his nationality. This is against the law. This is a crime against humanity. And in United Kingdom, according to the equality law, that is a serious breach of law. And you cannot discriminate. There are some protected characteristics which is in relations to the people's right. For example, I can share you, according to Equality Law 2010, the United Kingdom has protected so many people's rights on that basis. But the issue is, we need to make sure that those rights are well protected everywhere. Those rights are well protected in the society, in the community, wherever you work, wherever you live, wherever you go. You might be traveling in the train, you might be traveling in a bus, you are shopping in a shopping centers, Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury, Waitrose, wherever you go. The discrimination against the protected characteristics is not allowed. It cannot be tolerated, and that person must be arrested and arrested and prosecuted if he involved in the serious breach of the equality law, and if he is involved in the offenses under the discriminations. So let me give a brief introduction about what is the what are the protected characteristics under the equality law. Number one is the age. You cannot discriminate anyone on the basis of their age. For example, you cannot you cannot there is a certain range of age. For example, 65 years or 60 years before the retirement stage. You cannot discriminate that person, that he is unable to work and he is not in a position to perform his duty better. So you cannot discriminate that. And secondly, you cannot discriminate anyone on the basis of their gender. These are the basic rights under the equality law. You need to give the equal treatment to everyone, regardless of their gender, regardless whether they are male, whether they are female, whether they are sexual orientations. So you cannot make any treatment on the basis of their sexual orientations. So this is also one of the most important protected characteristics of humanity and human beings. We need to make sure that there's no any kind of the discrimination happening on that basis. And third important element of protected characteristics is the religion or faith. So you cannot discriminate anyone on that basis, what their religion or faith is, what their belief is. And there are so many people who even not believer of anything, atheist, but the law gives them full protection and law gives them full rights to have whatever belief they want to. And there is no force on that. Nobody can force anyone to follow any faith or belief. So this is also equally important. And the fourth protected characteristic is the nationality, I mean the culture or race or color. So nobody can be discriminated on the basis of their color, whether they are white, brown, Asian, Chinese, Indian, Pakistani, Bangladesh, Nigerian, Jamaican, wherever they belongs to. Nobody can be treated them on the basis of their nationality, on the basis of their race, on the basis of their color. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the protected characteristics. And the last one, which is also equally important, that is disability. So nobody can be treated unfairly on the basis of their disability. So the disabled people also can walk, and they live in this society with holding their head high, and they can face the equal treatment, and they can enjoy the equal rights within the society and within the community wherever they work. And also, when I was if I can share with you that how important to treat with the disabled people is, of course, a lot of people can surprised, because it is a requirement of law that you must make sure before having any event and before having any gathering, public gathering, you make sure that what arrangements you have made for those people who are disabled, who have less ability to hear, and who have less ability to move, or they have the mobility issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the basic things we need to make sure. So I am telling you that the world, wherever we have achieved so far, we have reached at a level of civilizations where we see that every single individual of the society has equal importance. No richer or poor, there is no difference between who is rich and who is poor. There is no difference between the owner and employee. There is no difference between the high class job, high profile job, or a labor or worker job. There is no difference of the people. We must need to understand these things, and the country and the societies, the governments must provide that structure. I'm talking about the underdeveloping countries, that they must need to make sure that every single member of the community, their rights are well protected, their rights are properly addressed, and they made necessary arrangements. We see that they made arrangements for their own travels. The ministers are using the full sources of funds for their mobility, for traveling. They're using very expensive vehicles. They are living in very expensive 5-star hotels. They do have arrangements for themselves, but what arrangements for them they have made for these people? What arrangements they have made for disabled people? What arrangements they have made for the people who are vulnerable member of the society? They are living, they are single. There are so many single mothers or single females living in the society, but underdeveloping countries. I'm talking about the Pakistani, for example. I give example. It is difficult for a single female to live alone, because it is being considered that the male dominant society, because the CCPO Lahore, if I refer his statement recently, when a motorway incident happened wherein a French Pakistani, she traveled from France to Pakistan along with her 2 kids and children. She was traveling from Lahore to Gujranwala, and on the motorway she was stuck due to some technical reason with her car. And what has happened there, a very tragic incident happened. A few people, a couple of people, they came there, they looted that lady, as well as they raped her. So that is itself a very sad incident, and we were expecting a very strict actions being taken by the government, and we were expecting that the head of the police officer, they must be as angry as we are angry, he must be as sad as we were sad. But unfortunately, what turned up later on, what unfolded, according to his statement which he made, he said that he should know that she is a lady and she is a female and she cannot travel late night. So that statement, representing from the state statement, I mean the government statement, the authority statement, because he is the head of the Lahore police, the Lahore Central Police, the district of Lahore, whole district of the Lahore. So he is a responsible person. He must give a sensible statement, but unfortunately the wording he used, the context he used, and the way he elaborated and twisted the whole incident in against the woman, and telling her that it was your fault because you are a woman and you must not travel that late alone on the motorway. So there was so many questions arise after that statement, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just referring one incident. I'm referring, there are hundreds of these kind of incidents happening on a daily basis in the underdeveloping countries, in the countries where the law and order situation is not that great as we are living in the United Kingdom. The law and order situation is not that well addressed and well protected and well managed as with compared to the developed countries. So we really demands that the developed countries system must be adopted as an example, as a role model for the underdeveloping countries, and they must follow that. Why we see the less ratio of the crimes in these countries, why we see the rule of law in these countries? Because the people and the representative of people, the parliamentarians, the authorities, they give importance to the human life. They give importance to the life of humanity. They give importance to the equality. They give importance to the basic fundamental rights. They don't see that what is the gender of the person, what is nationality of the person, what is the color of the person, what is the faith and belief of the person, what baradri or sect or religion he follow. They don't see that. They just apply the rules. We need to follow these steps. We need to follow these role models if we want to develop. Particularly, I'm referring to the underdeveloping countries. And when I say underdeveloping countries, there is a big list coming up, because there's so many, all the Africa and Asian countries, they are suffering and going through to developments, going towards the development and progress. And there's so many economic instability, political instability, and the crime ratio is very high, the corruption is very high, the nepotism is very high within the authorities. So these are the things happening every day in underdeveloping countries. So when if I say that there is no harm to follow the principles which have well adopted by the developed countries, which becomes the great symbol of success. So there is no shame to follow those steps. I remember that Malaysia once, he has borrowed the 5 years plan of development from Pakistan for a couple of years, because Pakistan, they have set the 5 years development plan during the era of 1960s, and during that time, at the time when the President General Ayub was ruling over the country, I believe. That plan was adopted by the Malaysia, and Malaysia was the country who was well behind from the Pakistan, but now he is one of the most progressively developing country now, and he has achieved a great scores well ahead towards the making his economy better, the civilization better, the education level better, the GDPR better, and I can compare that now. That is one of the most civilized country in the world as well, the Malaysia. We should follow some example, some pattern from somewhere. We cannot ignore the basic rights of humanity. We cannot ignore these things. These may be not that important for the authorities of our countries, but unfortunately, they are wrong. These are the most important things, the basic principles. The state has a responsibility to protect everyone's life, irrespective of everyone's nationality, irrespective of everyone's culture, irrespective of everyone's faith, irrespective of everyone's political affiliation, irrespective of everyone's color, irrespective of everyone's own faith and belief that, and everyone's position of the society within the social status. So they must treat every single individual equally. Equality is the basic principle to progress in the whole world, to progress within your society, within your country, and within the region, within the continent. If you don't have equality, we will continue suffering from so many miseries. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading towards the end of our show shortly, and I must quote here our Prophet, peace be upon him, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the great symbol of equality. He treated every single person equally, and on top of that, he very strictly giving that message and preachings to all the Muslims that you must follow the equality. You cannot treat anyone on the basis of their color, their social status, their faith. You must give them equal rights. And this is why at the time when the Fatah Makkah happened, the Makkah, it was conquered by Muhammad, and he treated every single person equally, and he announced the pardon for the public at large. So he didn't pick and choose and interrogate and investigate and prosecute or persecute to any single individual at that time. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the principles the society need to follow. These are the principles the state need to follow. All the responsibilities start from the state and their organizations, their departments, the police department, the law enforcement departments, the parliaments, who are the legislative assembly who making the law. They need to make a certain amendments and produce such kind of the laws which ensure the protection of rights, which ensure the human life is safe and treated well, fairly, and equally. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our show. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Hopefully, you will all stay safe and well protected during this lockdown, COVID-19, because London has entered into tier 2, which is a little bit more tougher than the medium level. So please make sure that you and your beloved ones stay safe. Thank you very much.
ये आयशा है, ये बहुत छोटी सी थी